What if strength wasn't about carrying it all, but knowing when to lay it down? Hey there, my name is Montina Myers-Galloway. I'm a licensed therapist. I'm the owner of Myers-Galloway Counseling, and I also created the Don't Call Me Strong retreat. And it is a retreat experience that is specifically designed to support the healing of Black women caregivers, whether they became caregivers intentionally by profession or unintentionally from a young age. The Don't Call Me Strong retreat is a retreat that's designed as a sanctuary for Black women to release the burdens of perpetual strength, reconnect with their authentic selves, and heal in a supportive community. Join the wait list. You do not have to do this alone.
Hello, hello, hello. I am muted and my camera is off. Hello, everyone. We are here, okay? We are here. Now, y'all did not see me, but I was doing a dance party before I started, okay? Welcome to Rest and Reset University. My name is Montina Myers-Galloway. I am a licensed therapist and consultant. I am the owner of Myers-Galloway Counseling, and I create healing experiences and retreats for Black women who are overwhelmed with responsibility. And I am so glad you are here. Now, this is not my normal voice, okay? My daughter gave me a little gift when she got home from school this week. And so um, I have been waiting and saving my voice all day just for this moment, just for this time. So, for you parents out there who have kids in school, just beware, okay? I am so glad to see everybody. Hey, Allison. Hey, Wavoni. So glad to see you all. Thank you for joining me. Like I said, this week is going to be great. We are talking about rest and reset. So, the name of this challenge is called Rest and Reset University. And this is a topic that is near and dear to my heart um, because I think we get a lot of societal messages about rest and what that means and what that means about us and what that means to us. So, I am so excited. My team is going to be helping me out with the chat. And if you are joining us, we are going to be live on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn. And we also have a special Zoom room for everyone who wants to join us there. But we want to connect with you. We are so excited to just spend some time with you. I do not count it lightly that you have taken some time out of your evening to spend with us, but we're gonna make it do what it do. So if I have to stop and pause and take a drink of water, please allow me that. But I am so excited. I am so excited. So you probably are tuning in for one of three reasons. One, you realize that you are not okay with just making it through. Okay. You don't really remember the last time that you truly were not tired. You don't remember the last time someone did not depend on you, and you rarely even feel supported. Um, so that's the first reason. You're either here because you realize that you're not okay with making it through. You have a fear of waiting until you actually burn out when you are forced to stop. And then the third reason that you're probably here is that you're looking for practical and simple steps rather than just vague encouragement that you can get through this. But I'm glad you're here. I I want the rest of this week to be engaging. I want to learn more about who's watching. And like I said, my team is going to be sharing a lot of information in the chat that um, you're going to have access to. And so we have a lot of fun things planned. We have a lot of little surprises planned over the next couple days. We are meeting live every night this week, Monday through Friday. from 6:30 p.m. We're only going to people are trying to get in from 6:30 p.m. till probably about 7:45 from September 26th to September 22nd to September 26th. I am so excited. All right, let's get right into it. Hey, Alexis, it has been so long. Oh my God, girl. Also, oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But I'm glad you're here. I am so grateful that you chose to spend some time with us this evening. Like I said earlier, folks, we are live on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, and we also have an amazing Zoom room here. But let's get started. Let me go ahead and share. Awesome. Okay. My team, let me know if I got any technical difficulties going on. Um, awesome. There we go. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay. Can everybody see? Awesome. I love it. I feel so blessed. I'm looking at my team. They say they got my back. Awesome. Awesome. All right, let's get right into it. So, tonight, Rest and Reset University, day one, permission to pause. And today's title is Choosing Belonging Over Proving. Now, when you look at this title, you might not think that it belongs in a 5-day challenge where we're talking about rest. But the truth is, a lot of us don't rest because we're so busy proving to others that we can do something or that we're capable of doing something. But tonight, this week, you are here in this challenge because that is going to end and you want that to end. So let's jump right into it. First, we'll do a little housekeeping and then we'll kind of get into tonight's topic. So, just for a little disclaimer, this content belongs to Montina Myers Galloway and Myers Galloway Counseling, and it is for personal use within this event only. You may not copy, share, or repurpose any materials without written permission. We may pursue legal remedies for misuse. Your attendance does not create a therapeutic relationship. This session may be recorded, including video, audio, and screen names, and by attending, you consent to internal use of this recording. So if you don't want to be seen, turn off your camera and change your name. If you prefer privacy, please turn off your camera, mute your microphone, and change your screen name. But I would encourage you to have some courage. Let the people know that you're about to be resting, okay? But if you don't want to, I get it. All right, so let's go back. Montina went too fast. So you can find us in Skool. We have an amazing membership community. It's called Legacy Shifters. And just for the duration of the 5-day challenge, you can get limited access to Legacy Shifters for free. This is a limited opportunity. So we are in the Skool app. And if someone in my team would drop that link, the Skool app is amazing because it's an amazing place where we get to engage with one another. We get to share more resources and some content that's going to be going along with what we're talking about each day. Once you join Legacy Shifters and you're added to the Skool course once you're added to the Rest and Reset University course inside of Skool, then you'll automatically get your 5-day curriculum for Rest and Reset University. So each day there'll be something new. You have some resources and some content from me. And I want to hear your feedback. I want to hear some comments in the community because that's how we get stronger and not in the negative, unhealthy sense, right? We are stronger in community. But after, again, this is for the duration of this challenge. So we're going to be meeting September 22nd through September 26th, and the Skool community is going to close down not the community itself, but the Rest and Reset University course inside the community will close down on September 29th. So after every evening, we'll have replays available, and the replays will expire after 48 hours. So this is our hub, okay? This is where the action will happen. And again, if you register for the challenge throughout the week, you'll be getting access to tools and resources. But again, this is only if you register. So you can get Rest and Reset University information directly to your phone. So download the app. You can also use it on your computer as well. But I would suggest you have it on your phone because that's where we all live these days. All right, let's keep going. So, what you will need along the way. My first recommendation is no distractions. Okay, you have decided that your time is yours. Okay. Like I said, I'm blessed and I'm grateful that you have decided to spend some time with me this evening. But in order for this to be impactful, in order for you to get the most out of this experience, I need you to show up. Whether you're watching on socials or if you're watching here in Zoom, I need you to show up for you. Put yourself first for a few minutes this evening and the rest of this week. Like I said, we have some amazing things planned from now until the end of the week with the big finale. But the information that I'm going to be sharing with you is going to shift some things in your life. And I know it is. I have no doubt about that. So, no distractions. It would be very helpful for you to have a journal. If you want to use your cell phone and have um, use the notes app on your cell phone. But I usually, when you're handwriting something, you use another part of your brain. No distractions, a journal. Next thing, and it's very probably most important, it probably should have been at the top, is an open mind. The things that we're going to be talking about this week involves you unlearning years of programming, years of messages, and it's going to require you to be honest and curious about what's been impacting you. And last but certainly not least, the desire to be and do different. I think it's super important that we all are open to evolving with time. As we see every single day, life is short. The next day is not promised. And so it's really important for me, it's my mission to help you take this seriously for yourself. So, no distractions, a journal, an open mind, and a desire to do and be different. So, let's talk about leading the way in the Skool community. Now, in Skool is an amazing, easy to use app. Um, this is a growing community, and we have created levels of experiences for you inside of the community. And the way that you lead the way in the community is by letting your voice be heard. And the stories that you have, the experiences that you have, share them inside of the community and support someone else when they share their story inside of the community. That way, each time you encourage someone else, each time you share your story, your level changes. So, your first comment puts you at brave enough. Then you move to the grounded one. Then you become a space taker, so on and so forth. But I want to see everyone here at level 9, and that is unbound and free, because that is the point of legacy shifters. And so, what is a legacy shifter? Well, I'm glad you asked. Legacy shifters is essentially someone who has decided that they want to do things differently. They have decided that they don't have to negate their stories or their past or their ancestors' experiences, but they get to shift the legacy into something greater. And a legacy shifter understands that they are building their legacy while they are here, not when they are gone. So again, lead the way in the community, post, like, engage, and you can gain points that way and level up in the community. So every time you comment, every time you share a reflection, this is impactful to the community. All right. We got people coming in. Awesome. Hey, Letitia. Good to join. Good to join us. Awesome. All right. So, our motto here is do more of what works. Now, I forgot exactly how the saying goes, but they say doing the same thing over and over and over is insanity, essentially. But here we want to do more of what works. We want to break cycles. We want to not repeat old and unhelpful patterns. And so, this is what I want to guide you through not only this week, but the rest of this challenge and even after this challenge. Do more of what works. If it don't work, don't do it. So I hope you carry this with you, um, and think about it from the point of not what looks good on paper, not what gets you praise, not what leaves you exhausted, not what um, gets you approval or admiration from other people. Do more of what works. It's something deeper, right? It's about noticing what supports your peace, what adds value to you, what is aligned with your values, and also what helps you just breathe, what brings you peace, what makes your body sort of unclench, and then you don't feel guilty about it. You do it without apology. Some of you are going to realize this week that what works is often the smaller incremental things that we probably take for granted in life. And it could be anything as small as turning your phone on do not disturb, setting the focus setting on your phone. Um, those small things really make a difference. And I want you to hear me. And I want you to hear me when I say this, not doing things out of obligation. You don't need to do more to be more. You just need to do more of what actually works for you. Now, I know that doing more of what works, it sounds really simple, but it can really shift everything when you actually start living it. And I want to show you what it looks like in real life. I want to show you there are two women who were brave enough to share their experiences working with me and inside this community. They started to apply these truths to their life, and not in a perfect polished way, but in a real messy way where you have to go through it. You have to have the experiences and feel liberated enough to go through the tough stuff. And so as you listen, I want you to imagine what might happen for you if you stop doing the things that drained you and stopped working for the approval of others. So she said, working with Montina has literally saved my life. I've gained so much insight and perspective on mental health, and that the quality of my life has grown exponentially. The other young woman said, I no longer hate myself when I look in the mirror. My internal peace and external relationships have changed. I reclaimed my voice, built boundaries, and started practicing some grace. I'll have a transparent moment. I the one thing that helped me realize that I wasn't showing myself grace happened after I had a medical crisis. And it was only then when I realized, oh, you are not as good at receiving grace as you are at giving grace. And I wonder how many people understand that. I wonder how many people feel the same way if you were to actually think about it. Are you good at giving yourself grace as much as you give other people? So, let me tell you a little bit about the journey ahead. So, this is your rest and reset roadmap. Essentially, this is what each day will look like briefly. Today, we're starting with permission to pause. You each have been brave enough to show up for yourself. Day two, we're undoing overgiving. Day three, We're talking about the fact that your body has something to say because usually your body is talking, but we might not be listening. Day four, we're talking about the fact that joy is not a distraction, it's a strategy. And on day five, we are talking about the fact that rest is resistance and not a reward. We don't have to earn the right to get good rest. So here's what will happen each night. We'll start off with a quick mindset check because let's be honest, we most likely all have jobs, you all have things that happen, but we want to check in each night on how are we arriving to this moment? What are we bringing? What's distracting us? What other notifications are on? Are you open? Are you skeptical? Is this really going to work? Does she know what she's talking about? Do your minds, we're going to do a mindset check each night that we step in. Then I'll get into the topic for the evening. We're going to be using real examples, and we're going to be doing. I'm going to be giving some homework and action items each night, and then I'm also going to give away some goodies. So tell me what's standing out to you all so far. Tell me in the chat. Ooh, I should probably pull up the social chats. Let's see. Child, they done got me. See here, mindset check. Awesome. Yes, yes, yes. And it can be sneaky, Tanisha. It can be very sneaky. Sometimes we have a bajillion thoughts a day, and before you know it, our mood has changed. Absolutely. Awesome. All right, let's keep going. So, will you be the winner? So, like I mentioned, we're going to be having some giveaways and some surprises along the way. And the first giveaway prize is going to be the book Sisterhood Heals by Dr. Joy Harden Bradford. I had the pleasure of meeting Dr. Joy, I believe it was last year at her therapist summit. It was in July of last year, I believe. And I actually have a signed copy of Sisterhood Heals. I'm not giving that one away. I give you your own Sisterhood Heals book, but you, in order to be eligible to win your copy of Sisterhood Heals, I need you to submit your homework in the Skool community by 12 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow to be entered for a chance to win the book. So we will let you all know who the winner is based on when you complete your homework. And also, my team is scouting out some people in the chat this evening. So if you are engaging and if you feel like you are actually connecting with the community, then you could be entered for a chance to win a prize. All right. Also, I cannot forget, we want the world to know, okay? We want the world to know that you are putting yourself first. We have created a social badge for you to upload your image, your photo into. You should have received this link in your confirmation email. And so, if not, please let us know. But it should be in all of the emails. But once you click that link, you can upload your photo into the frame in Canva, post it on Facebook, post it on Instagram, send it to your people, send it to your circle. Matter of fact, tell your friends where you're at right now, um, and let them know that you're reclaiming rest and the fact that rest is so important. But we want you to, get rid of distractions after you post this photo. Um, but we want you to make sure that you are letting the world know and tag me in it when you post, and then also add the hashtag reclaiming my rest. Awesome. Okay. All right, some things to note. The replay of this video and the rest of the videos will be available. We're going to keep them available for 48 hours. Like I mentioned earlier at the beginning of our session, all the tools and links will be inside the Skool community. So, again, that's our hub. That's where our engagement will happen. And just a little disclaimer that I always have to give, this is educational and for your information only. This is not therapy, and I am not your therapist, but I can send you some great recommendations for a therapist. All right, so let's get into it. So I wonder if anybody would be honest with me, right? And tell me that right now you might be believing, one, that if you rest, you lazy. Two, that you don't have time to rest. Or three, if I was strong enough, I wouldn't need to rest. I want to see if anybody would be honest and tell me in the chat if they feel this way, if they've ever thought it, said it. Alexis, you giving yourself grace. One and two. I don't have time. Alexis says, I've said all of that. Absolutely. Absolutely. But it is a bold faced lie. None of it is true. And so which one of those have impacted you the most? Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Allison said two. Letitia said two. Two. Okay. So that is the theme is so one and two seems to be in the lead. Okay, good. I'm glad that number three is not on the board because I don't like when people say be strong. So I'm glad to hear that it's not up there. But the the one that seems to be in the lead is I don't have time and rest equals laziness. Yeah. Yes, 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 yes. Now, so before we go deeper, I want to name something here. We might not struggle because we don't know how to, but we might struggle because of the stories that we have been told and the ones that we start to internalize and start to tell ourselves. And so these things and these beliefs have been passed down over time and reinforced by systems and cultural and societal expectations. And then it turns into perfectionism. But just because something feels familiar, it doesn't mean it's true. And we're going to break that down one by one. So let's get into it. Today we're going to choose belonging over proving. And so by the end of this training, we are going to know where your negative messages about rest came from and how they show up in your life today. Does that sound good? Y'all got to talk back to me. hmm So let's talk about rest. What is rest? Somebody put in the chat. What do you know as rest? What is it? And I already told you the answer already. Rest is not sleep. Being still, Letitia. Absolutely. That is one form. Being quiet. hmm Closing my I have heard that metaphor being used a lot. I have heard that metaphor being used a lot, and it is like that. Absolutely. So if I were to tell you that there were 7 types of rest, would you believe me? Because the truth is that there are. There are 7 types of rest. For example, mental, spiritual, emotional, sensory, social, physical, and creative. And so when we are faced with the choice to rest and we are faced with telling ourselves, I don't have time, or um, I'm not strong enough to do it, or rest equals lazy. There are many different types of rest. So, for example, mental rest looks like focusing on one task, using a timer so you can focus on work, turning off notifications, writing down a list of things before bed so you won't ruminate on it. That's an example of essentially your clearing your mental load beforehand. Spiritual. Spiritual rest is prayer, meditation, gratitude, stillness, reconnecting. Meaning is reconnecting meaning beyond the things on your list. Another type of rest, emotional, naming what you feel, allowing tears and asking for help and saying that I can't do it today. Sensory, quiet, low screen, soft lights, social, creative. These are all different ways that we can give ourselves the gift of resting. So tell me, which one of these might you be open to trying? Which one are you open to trying? Creative rest, all of them, physical. And notice there are 2 types of physical rest, Alexa. Passive, so sleep, naps, laying down, closing your eyes, but active rest. So gentle stretching like yoga, walking. That's my favorite thing to do. I do love to take a nice little walk. Sometimes I don't be paying attention to where I'm going, but walking is such a grounding activity. Absolutely, Crystal. Emotional and mental, Tanisha's mental and spiritual. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, my hope is that your mind will be open to the many different ways that you can give your body rest. So, I have a question for you all. If, when we mentioned earlier, some of our associations or negative beliefs about rest was that it's lazy or I don't have time, if rest had a voice in your life, would it sound like a friend, a critic, or a stranger? And tell me why. Tell me why. And our group is small enough, we can come off mute. Hmm. Excuse me. Absolutely, Tanisha. Those are good friends. Letitia, I'm sorry, Letitia Thompson. She said, my friends, because my friends are always the ones who are telling me to rest. Absolutely. Good friends to have. Hello, Carolyn. Awesome. So, if rest had a voice in your life, would it sound like a friend, a critic, or a stranger? Alexa said a friend because they know me the best. I never sit down. And I was gonna say, yeah, we were there together. So Alexis and I went to college together. We did the Disney College program. Ciao. Absolutely. Anybody willing to come off mute and talk about if rest had a voice? I think there's a raise your hand feature in the chat. And please forgive my lack of tech savviness if you don't see it. And so, question, you all can see my slides, right? Okay, good. All right. Awesome. Okay. A critic. Ooh, Tanisha says critic because I have, God, I have so much to do and I feel bad for resting. And I have heard that multiple times, Tanisha. And I try to remind myself, I try to remind my clients that ain't none of it gonna get done if you ain't here. Ain't none of it gonna get done if you can't, or it's not gonna feel enjoyable. Nothing will feel enjoyable if you feel like it's essentially running the show, because that's what it is. And so Crystal says sometimes a critic seems like another task or a list stranger because I don't know. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, and our thoughts can be really, really frazzled sometimes. So, we got some friends, we got critics. Okay, got it. So, what I'm getting from this is that what's most popular in the chat, it would sound like a friend or a critic. So, it's like two different extremes. Either you feel really bad about it, or you got some people in your corner who are supporting you and telling you to rest. Okay, okay. I am learning so much. All right. But I want you to know it is time to own your rest because no one can own it like you. No one can speak and use your voice the way that you. So if you catch yourself waiting for permission or you catch yourself trying to over explain, I want you to remember this acronym: OWN. Observe, witness, name, and reclaim. So essentially, this is an easy way to think about and pause and think about, what am I doing? Why am I doing it? So let's take this one at a time. Observe. Let's again catch yourself in the act of waiting for permission. I want you to notice when you are about to give an excuse or overwork or overgive just to earn a moment to yourself. I was doing another virtual presentation and I had someone say, the presentation was about boundaries and leadership and all that. And someone said, "Oh yeah, well I sometimes I just use my child as an excuse as to why I can't stay late at work." And my response to that is, well, you want to feel worthy enough to set the boundary just because you're worthy of setting the boundary. So anytime you find yourself wanting to explain or over explain, remember this acronym: OWN. The next part of the acronym is witness. You have to be honest about where that pressure comes from. Was it rules? Was it how you were raised? Are you in survival mode because maybe your sense of security has been uh, moved away? A lot of things happen. Sometimes we're born into situations, and sometimes life circumstances happen that impact our body. But I want you to say it plain. This is not me. This is the script that I'm handed because I know that rest is healthy. So we've observed, witnessed, and the last part is we want to name and reclaim. So you have to call it out and claim the opposite. So, for example, this is a strong Black woman lie talking. The truth is, I deserve to stop. Stop, pause, rest. Those are all words that needs to be in our vocabulary. Naming it makes it lose its power and it puts the authority back on you. I heard this quote a long time ago, and I say it to myself and I say it to my clients too. But your mind can be a dangerous place to be alone. And so when we constantly internalize messages without giving voice to them, without hearing what it actually sounds like, we can create scenarios and narratives that may or may not be true about others and about our own identity. So your job is to own your rest, observe, witness, name, and reclaim. Own your rest. So let's break this down into two parts. We're going to spend some time talking about the first step is where did this belief come from? And then we're going to do some honest reflection on how it's showing up now in your life. So let's again. I'm very engaging. I like to interact with you all in the chat, so I want to hear from you. Who told you that Black women don't rest? We work. When did you learn that being quote unquote strong or being the responsible one was your job and your job alone? Whose voice do you still hear in your head when you think about sitting down? Tanisha, grandma, absolutely. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And you know, this condition, hey Zenobia, absolutely family messages. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And so a lot of the times we are, thank you, Tanisha, Letitia, thank you, been the strong one since childhood. And I would love to hear more about how that's actually shown up for you because some of the conditioning sounds like, I still feel like I need a reason or approval or a crisis to actually stop. Or like people pleasing and proving might sound like, well, if I say no, I might disappoint somebody else, or they might be mad with me, or they might um, not need me in the future. Perfectionism might show up and say, well, I tell myself, well, once it's done, then I'll be okay. Yeah, I have said that a couple times myself. Like, let me just one this last thing. Let me get this one last thing. And it never ever ends. It's always something else that's added to the list. But there are many different narratives that are essentially unhealthy. Guilt, survival, survival, proving, people pleasing, and permission seeking. Awesome. Mhm. So I want you to hear what can shift when you choose to rest on purpose and repeat what actually helps. So this next um, great testimonial is from a woman who in our community, she showed up consistently and she told the truth about what she needed. So she says, I am lighter with more joy, better sleep, and deep self awareness. Montina helped me move through grief, root level triggers. She's consistent, lovingly challenges me, and won't let me stay stuck. When I look in the mirror now, something has fundamentally shifted. Now, again, notice that she did not say her circumstances changed. She said she changed. Lighter sleeping, clearer. That is the power of pausing and self assessing and self reflecting with intention. And so grief has a way of being literally and figuratively heavy. And so whenever you have a space and an opportunity to release that, it's so important to give yourself that gift. Give your nervous system that. So, which word in this testimonial stands out to you all? Is it the more joy? Is it the deeper self awareness? Is it better sleep? What stands out to you all from this? Joy, Letitia, root level triggers. Absolutely. Better sleep. It is possible for us all. It is possible for us all. But again, it is time for you to own your rest. This framework is so important because it's a reminder that the shift is possible. And I show it again because it's a next step for you. You just heard from someone what happens when we practice it on purpose. So this transformation is not an accident, it follows a pattern. It helps you see what's already working, and you're honest and transparent with yourself about what is needed. So let's go a little bit deeper into each part of it. Observe the belief. Let's make space to notice the story. The challenge, especially with day to day life, is that we aren't able to slow down long enough to catch whatever shows up for us. And whenever we try to rest, sometimes our mind and our brain might say no. But I want you to ask yourself, whenever you feel that tension, whenever you feel that urge, but at the same time you feel yourself trying to fight to resist it, I want you to ask yourself, what is the story in my head right now? And is there a possibility that it could be wrong? Is the story, well, I don't want to forget to do it? That's probably one of my stories. Is the story, well, if I don't do it, who else will? Or is it the story of if I stop, everything will fall apart or I'll fall behind? The point of observing the belief is that you cannot unlearn what you don't first observe, what you are not willing to observe. Let's go to the next part of the framework. So we're talking about owning our rest. Observe. The next aspect is witness. You have to witness the impact of it. There is a clear physical connection between stress, anxiety, and health. And so, not resting impacts your mental health, your emotional health, your behaviors, and relationships. And so, a lot of times when I work with clients, I see them dealing with a lot of resentment in their relationships because they feel like people aren't doing enough, people aren't doing what they would do, people aren't pulling their weight is a phrase that I've heard. And a lot of that happens because we feel the need to take responsibility for a lot of different things. And so the point of witnessing the impact is when you see the fallout in your own life, the lack of sleep, maybe the lack of joy, maybe the continuous strain on your relationships. You see, this belief is not harmless. It is actually running your life. So we observed, we witnessed, and lastly, we want to name it and reclaim. We are going to literally cross out the lie and actually tell the truth. We want to actually name that negative core belief that's associated with the reason you feel like you cannot rest. And for a lot of us, that core belief, even though we have not said it, is that I only feel valuable when I'm doing something. I only feel valuable when I'm producing something. That is basically survival mode. And I can only say that because I've been there myself. But it is now is the time to replace it with something different. Now is the time to replace it with a new narrative. And that could sound like something like my worth is not up for debate. Rest is my right. And so here's what I want you to do in the chat. I want you to, and you can start in your journal and then put it in the chat, whatever works for you. But I want you to write down one negative core belief that you've noticed and then replace it with a truth that is actually a reframe. So there's the example right above it. I'll give y'all a few minutes to think about what that could be and then put it in the chat if you'd like to. We're writing one negative core belief, and then we're replacing it with a truth. Mm-hmm. Carolyn. Carolyn says, I do things myself because I do it best. Listen, get out of my head, Carolyn. Absolutely. That is a challenging core belief. Now let's replace it with the truth. And you know what, Carolyn? This honestly, my team is here. My team, close your ears. You don't hear this. It has been a challenge internally to do that, to actually trust, because that's really what it comes down to trust that others are capable and remove and distance yourself from every single outcome. It sounds like relinquishing control. And I hope I'm saying your name right, Wivani. And please come off mute to correct me. If I don't do it, it will not get done. Mm-hmm. Everything will. Okay, I said it right. Okay, I said it right. Wivani. All right. Thank you, girl. If I don't do it, it'll not get done. And people come from, I don't know your situation, but people come from a lot of situations and where they are literally, they maybe moved to a new area, maybe things have changed. Depending on your situation, sometimes that can feel really true. But when I hear clients say that, I do challenge them to examine sort of their quality of relationships or their openness to build new relationships because we need support systems. Latasha says everything will fall apart if I do not take care of it. The new truth is that things will get done or not done, but all of the issues are not mine or resolved. But y'all better get in this chat. They not yours to resolve because we can't. Proven makes me an acceptable. Proven makes me acceptable in the space. Come on, Crystal. I have to do it all on my own, Allison. I have to put trust in others and the situation will get done. Absolutely. I'm worthy of rest regardless of whether things are done or not, Zenobia. Whether they done or not, okay? Because I done fell asleep plenty of nights with food on the stove and dishes in the sink. Excuse me. Alexa says, working to exhaustion shows how bad I want to achieve my goals. Yo, this right here, that's Alexis. Yes, but it ain't true. But it's not true. Crystal says I'm worthy and enough as is. And in any room is the truth. Absolutely. That's the truth. That's the myth of hustle culture. Absolutely. I hope my team is taking notes and screenshots of these truths and these lies because it's going to end today. It is going to end today. So, the point of naming and reclaiming it is that naming the lie takes away its power. And so, all of you all have been brave enough to mention, to say it, brave enough to write it. And so now it can't breathe. Poof, be gone. So after this Zoom, after tonight, it's gonna literally vanish in the airways. And one of my techniques that I use with my clients at the end of my sessions, I'll say, oh, okay, yada, yada, yada. Now, what are you taking and what are you leaving? Meaning, what was helpful? What was, productive? Maybe you didn't think about it that way when you first came. And then what are you leaving? The thing that's not helpful, like maybe you came in here a little peeved and you could just leave it right here. All of those lies we are leaving in the virtual airways, and we are going to take the truth with us because we deserve it. We're not going to do that no more. All right, let's keep going. It's time to own your rest. And I believe that you all you're going to do that. Awesome. So let's talk about how is it showing up now? Let's be honest, How is it showing up if you were um to really think like, oh yeah, I left the stove on, or like I forgot about an appointment, or you know, how is it showing up in your life now, the lack of rest? Migraines. Yes, frustration. And frustration is a sign of lack of control. Stress is external, absolutely. Thank you, Zenobia. Irritability. Mm-hmm. I mean, we be getting mad when people say pass the salt. Bad sleep and anxiety, absolutely. That's how it is showing up. Absolutely. And then Crystal says inflammation or pain. And yes, and so again, that is why this work is so important, because your health and the fulfillment and the fullness of your life literally depends on it, because these compounded things, these compounded weathering, essentially, especially for Black women, it impacts your body. Wavoni says lack of rest and body is run down and easy to get sick. It impacts your immune system. But we owning it after today. So let's talk about it. Why does it feel unsafe? How many times a week do you keep pushing even when you know your body has begged you to stop? Are you more comfortable running on empty rather than sitting in stillness? Because sometimes it's challenging for us to be still, and sometimes we fear being alone with our thoughts. Allison said easily annoyed. Absolutely. Hmm. It shows up. But let me call you in, okay? I'm not calling you out, I'm calling you in. And I want you to know that all of this is just talk until you believe that you are worthy. All of this is just talk until you start to internalize your values, what you have your sights set on, where you see yourself, not pleasing other people. I heard somebody say, well, the system work if you work it. You, I want you to use your agency meaning your own internal choice and decision to own your rest. And so what that means is you can flip the script, okay? We can write a new story. We can write a new story that used to be the narrative, but it doesn't have to continue to be the narrative. It doesn't have to continue to be the thing that stops you. And I'm not saying this to shame anybody. I'm saying it because I care. I've been working with Black women for nearly 10 years. We've helped over 300 Black women through over 5,000 hours of therapy. And I've seen it multiple times. People taking short term disability because of unaddressed mental health issues or unprocessed grief or unprocessed trauma. This is critically important, so critically important that it's urgent. And if any of the times today have not let you know that no one will do it for you, this is something that you have to own. Too many of us have been taught that exhaustion is normal, that being the responsible one or the strong one, depending on family dynamics, you might be the first in your family or your generation to go to corporate America or to leave your hometown. But we've been told that that's our role, and people start to look to us for that. But I am not just inviting you to think about rest. I'm telling you that you deserve it. You need it. And it's time to take it seriously. This week is about more than just a challenge. It's about rewriting the script that becomes your right and not your reward. So, your homework. Okay, so y'all remember about that prize I said that y'all would get if you want to get the Sisterhood Heal, not Sisterhood, yeah, Sisterhood Heals book. Um, you got to do your homework, and I want to see it posted in the Skool community by 12 p.m. tomorrow. Your homework is to call out the voice. We want to hear in Skool, what's the moment that you hesitated to rest? Even after, you know, learning about the OWN framework, even after maybe tomorrow, I want to hear what's the moment that you hesitated to rest? What was the exact thought that showed up? And then write the truth statement. So you all had great practice here this evening. And so I want to hear, because I know it's going to come up again. I know it's going to come up again after we get off this call. You're going to be like, someone's going to ask you to do something. And then you say no, you say yes when you really mean no. We want to hear about that. We want to hear about that. We want to hear and we want to read and support you um, in the Skool community. Nani's going to drop the link in the chat for you to join Skool and post your homework assignment. So, this might sting a little bit. And so, if we were to be honest, we still might be chasing approval. We have experienced or heard messages that being useful is the same thing as being worthy, but we got to identify it. And in some, like this, the one that might really, really sting, in a lot of ways, overdoing and giving and producing gives us a payoff. And essentially, when I say payoff, I just mean it feels good. We get the praise, we get the validation, we get the control. But in order for us to own our rest, we have to acknowledge what that payoff is for you individually. Now, I got some bonus points for you. I want you to text 3 people that you trust, that's you in a healthy reciprocal relationship with. I got to put all those qualifiers on there because I know my people. A healthy reciprocal relationship. I want you to send a text to three people and ask. You can send them one of each questions, not all three questions. And I want you to ask them, when do you notice me pushing past my limits, even when I should rest? You could ask them, what do you think I forget to give myself that I freely give to other people? And then the last question is, what's one way that you know I deserve rest, but even I can't see it? And this is important because when I created these questions, I wanted to make sure that these questions would bring you closer together in your relationships. Because what I find often with clients is that they have underutilized support systems. So you get some bonus points if you do this and you share what your community says or with those people who you're in healthy relationships with. Share what they say, share what new insights you got from them. And I can't wait to hear what you all come back with. All right. So let's keep going. Now, your next step, I have created a quiz for you all that helps you find your healing path. This quiz uncovers what is really behind your exhaustion, and it helps you it points you in the right direction of what will actually help. And so this is going to set the tone for the rest of our time together for the rest of this week. And it's really going to be quick. It's going to be and this is considering that you answer with the first thought that comes to your mind. Don't, think too much about it, but take the quiz, share the quiz with those around you. Um, and then it's going to tell you one of three things. It's going to share with you, sure I got the right slide. And I see that my team put the link there. But this quiz is going to uncover what's really fueling your exhaustion. It's going to point to a path that fits you. Reset, retreat, or a soft place to land. But like I said, this is going to set the tone for the rest of your journey here. So clarity is so important. So the quiz is a mix of multiple choice questions and true or false. So it should not take very long. It takes about 5 minutes to complete. And again, just be honest, don't think too much about it. But the more real you are, the more accurate your path will be. All right. So again, the link is in the chat. It will also be posted in Skool. So you don't need to log in or anything. You just click it and go. And then once you get to the end, it will ask you for your email address to submit and get your results and your special delivery via email. Now, once you complete it, you will get this you'll get the 7-step reset guide to for Black women who carry way too much. So I don't know about y'all, but it sounds like based on what y'all are saying in the chat, that guide might be very, very helpful for you. But the quiz will be helpful as well. So again, like I mentioned earlier, your results will tell you one of three things. Either one, you're at a breaking point and you need a private reset. Two, you're healing, but you're lonely and you need a space that pours back into you. And three, you are ready to stop spinning and you want a clear, doable plan for what's next. All right. And so, just as a little bit more about what to do with the results, whenever you get your results, go ahead and read through them. Give us feedback on whether you think that is accurate for you. Um, Download your resource. Your resource will actually be sent via email once you complete it. And let us know in Skool what your result was. So you can fill it out and you can post it in Skool by saying something like, my quiz result was blank, and my next step is blank. And so the first person who finishes their quiz and posts it in the Skool community gets a special bonus prize. It's a secret. And so comment, I'm done when you finished. You can either, if you all are doing the quiz now, you can put it in the chat here or in the Skool community. And so your result is going to reveal your next step. All right. All right. So let's get going, and then we will share a little bit more about what is ahead. So, like I mentioned, if you what okay, okay, Latasha, it looks like we got a winner. Looks like we got a winner. Latasha, if you would connect with a member of our team, Nazili is here in the chat. She can get your information. Um, and then we'll go from there. But you are the winner of a DoorDash gift card, so I am sure that that will be helpful for dinner. I swear y'all should see my emails. I got DoorDash, Uber Eats, DoorDash confirmations. It's crazy. It won't be like this always, but I'm sure that this will be helpful for you. I hope that it will add value to your family, and then we'll go from there. Awesome. So, here is a look at what is ahead as we move forward. So, day 2, we are going to be talking about undoing overgiving. That's September 23rd at 6:30 p.m. On day 3, your body has something to say on September 24th. And September 25th, day 4, we're going to talk about joy being a strategy, not being seen as a distraction. And last but certainly not least, you want to be here on Friday, September 26th at 6:30 p.m. And for you all who showed up live, I commend you all for taking some time just to reflect and show up live and just for you. So if you are watching the replay, that is okay too, but be intentional about watching the replay. But on Friday, the finale, you are going to be writing your own very own rest declaration. So completing this challenge, it means choosing yourself. So we are going to declare rest as a right. Rest as a right. So I want to confirm with my team if we are good to go with our next winner. All right. Da, 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 da. Somebody give me a drum roll. I guess we need a sound effects drum roll. Awesome. Day 1 giveaway winner, Alexis Rivers. You have won the Sisterhood Heals book. Please get your information to a member of our team, and we're going to get that right over to you. So I hope you are able to use it and enjoy it, and build up your community with it. Awesome. So I want to hear what you all took away from today. We're going to be closing out, but I want to hear what was most impactful for you. I am always open for feedback, and I want to know what is working and what stood out to you the most. And more importantly, I want to make sure that you all felt seen and what questions you might have. And I will stop sharing. Okay. Awesome. All right. No questions or comments from the live. Awesome. Good. I'm glad that was helpful, Latasha. Another reminder how important rest is. Absolutely. Absolutely. Awesome. Awesome. Well, listen, like I said, I'm incredibly grateful to be able to spend some time with you all this evening. I know that time is, like you all mentioned, time is one of the main reasons why we feel like we cannot rest. So I'm glad that you all are working and will change that. So it has been a pleasure. I will see you all right back here tomorrow night for day two. And I can't wait to see you. All right, you all. Take care.
Black women, have you ever felt like you've been the caretaker for everyone else in your life? Well, I'm here to tell you, it's time to break free. Our exclusive membership community, Legacy Shifters, we've created an experience specifically for Black women just like you. Through live workshops with me, Montina Myers Galloway, a licensed therapist, and my expert team, plus a private app-based community of women who understand, you'll gain the tools that you need to set boundaries, to prioritize yourself without guilt, and create a life that's truly yours. Don't wait. Join today. You'll save with our annual membership discount. Visit legacy-shiftersmn.co. Say it with me. I deserve this. Legacy Shifters is here to help you live it.